Jason let his backpack fall to the porch with a heavy thud, but the H in his chest felt far worse. Had he really been kicked out of school just because he was a farmer's son? Principal Carter's harsh words kept ringing in his head. This school is for respectable families. You don't belong here. He walked home holding back tears, bracing for the look on his parents' faces. That night he lay awake, replaying the moment, the principal's cold stare, the way the guards had hauled him out, the whispers and laughs in the hall. While other kids arrived in sleek cars and designer clothes, Jason came in worn sneakers and the faint smell of earth, the proof of early mornings spent working the land with his father. He had always known he stood apart, but he never imagined they'd dismiss him for it. At home his mother wore worry on her face, and his father looked heavy with concern. "They expelled me," Jason muttered, voice tight. His mother gasped. His father drew him into a hug and promised they'd figure it out. The reassurance was warm, but Jason could hear that it was only half certain. The next morning, as the school was filling with students, a thunderous noise split the sky. Everyone spilled outside, squinting into the sunlight as a huge black helicopter descended onto the lawn. Wind from the rotors whipped dust and hair everywhere. Phones came out, and a stunned silence took over the campus. No one had ever seen anything like it at Westbridge Academy. Not even the faculty. When the helicopter door opened, the man who stepped out commanded every eye. Tall, immaculately dressed, sunglasses reflecting a sea of faces, he walked with a confidence that made the principal's anger falter into something else, unease. The logo on the side of the aircraft said it all: Kingston Enterprises. Samuel Kingston, the country's most powerful agricultural magnate, was standing on Westbridge's front lawn. Kingston didn't waste time. He announced he was there for Jason Miller. Shock spread across the courtyard. Jason, the same boy who'd been humiliated and escorted out the day before. Principal Carter stammered that Jason was no longer a student. Kingston's voice hardened. He wasn't interested in excuses. Back at the Miller farmhouse, the helicopter's roar had already drawn a crowd. Jason's family stepped out onto the driveway to find Samuel Kingston standing there as well. He scanned the modest home, the fields, the rusty truck, then looked straight at Jason. "Your father is Benjamin Miller," he said, as if stating a known fact. Benjamin confirmed, surprised. Months, maybe years ago, he had worked on one of Kingston's projects. Kingston listened as Jason and his father recounted what had happened at Westbridge, the principal's prejudice, the taunts from richer classmates, the raw humiliation of being told he didn't belong. After hearing them, Kingston ordered his assistant to pull up the school's records and then fixed Jason with a steady gaze. "I won't stand for injustice," he said. He spoke of wasted potential and the bitter memory of a young man who built an empire from nothing. Someone who remembered what it meant to be underestimated. Then, almost casually, he told Jason to get in the helicopter. Jason felt the world tilt. This was absurd, surreal, terrifying. And maybe, just maybe, an answer to the bitter wish he'd made the night before, that someone powerful would stand up for him. They flew back to Westbridge. From his seat, Jason watched the campus shrink below them, and the faces of those who had mocked him reduced to tiny dots. When the helicopter landed, Kingston strode up to the principal's office with the same unshakable presence he'd shown in the courtyard. He confronted the head of the school in front of a crowd that included teachers, board members, and students, demanding to know who had authorized Jason's expulsion. Kingston didn't threaten with idle words. He asked his assistant about the largest donation the school had ever received. When told it was $1 million, Kingston raised the offer to $10 million. With one condition: Jason must be reinstated immediately and publicly, and the school must apologize. The principal and board members froze. $10 million was a fortune they could not afford to refuse. Faced with the choice, Principal Whitmore stammered the necessary apology, clearly rehearsed and thin. But the point had been made. Kingston signaled his assistant to prepare the paperwork. The students, who had watched Jason's fall from grace the day before, now murmured in disbelief. Those who had jeered or whispered at him shifted uncomfortably, their confidence shaken. Kingston turned to Jason afterward and explained what he had in mind. He wasn't simply restoring him to his old place. He was offering something more: a scholarship program for hardworking, overlooked students like Jason. And Jason would be its first recipient. Kingston wanted him to train with his team, to learn not only from books but from hands-on experience with leaders in business and agriculture. It was a chance to move beyond proving himself to mean something greater, to become the person he was capable of being. Jason felt torn. Part of him wanted to stay and show Westbridge that they'd been wrong, to prove he belonged on their campus. But another part recognized the truth. This was a rare doorway opening wide, one that could lead him away from the limits others had placed on him. His father, who had always taught him to seize opportunity, gave him a steady look of pride and urged him to go. So Jason climbed back into the helicopter, looking once more at the campus and the faces he was leaving behind. The city skyline welcomed him on the other side. A rooftop office of Kingston Enterprises, glass and steel, and a world Jason had only glimpsed in newspapers. Inside, overlooking the hustle and sprawl of the city, Samuel Kingston told him what would come next: apprenticeship, mentorship, real-world education. "You remind me of who I was," Kingston said quietly. "Someone saw potential in me once, and I never forgot what that felt like. Now it's my turn." Jason felt emotion tighten his throat. The farm fields, the early mornings, the hands hardened by labor, all of it had shaped him. Now, standing in an office high above the city, he realized that those roots might be the very thing that set him apart. This was not the end of his story. It was a beginning. As he settled into the new rhythm of the city and the work ahead, Jason stopped merely hoping for a better future. For the first time, he knew one was coming, not because others had decided he was worthy, but because he'd been given a chance to show them, and himself, what he could do.